We are less than a week away from the NFL season starting. You probably drafted last weekend. You're probably drafting tonight, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You've got so many drafts ahead of you don't know what to do with yourself, and you are drafting from a position that you haven't had enough practice with yet. I am Sean Moran. This is Aidan Haller. We are 2/3 of the regression to the mean team. On today's mock draft, we are drafting from the 7th and 8th spots. We're going back-to-back for the first time on channel history. It is going to be snipe season galore between the two of us. I'm excited to see the little gamesmanship we have here. Aiden and I we've already drafted in a league together last weekend. We have a draft coming up on Wednesday right before the season starts. So this is great to check the tape and get a little practice with Aiden to see if he'll show his cards a little bit here on this draft. Before diving in, if you haven't had a chance, subscribe to our channel. We're going to be dropping episodes 2 to 3 times per week, covering weekly recaps, waiver wires, start-sit decisions. We're all over the place. We are covering this. We are on Twitter. We are on TikTok. We are on Instagram. We're everywhere you want to be, but where you want to be is on this YouTube channel. So go ahead, press subscribe, like this video, turn on the notifications. We're going to be coming at you all season long. Aiden Haller, how you doing, man? You ready to do this?
I'm ready to rock. Yeah, I'm lucky enough to where I'm not drafting even near the 7th spot at all this draft season, but it's a fun one. It's not somewhere I like, but it forces you to make some tricky decisions. I'm excited to go back to back with you here too, as yeah, like you said, there's gonna be some snipes. It should be good.
Going back to back. Going back to back. All right, ready to do this?
Let's
I'm
get
starting
it.
this puppy. Here we go.
Oh man. Wow. Thank God. Okay. Yeah, so bad vibes around Cooper Cup. I was not going to draft him given his recent hamstring flare-up, and I really didn't want to take Kelsey either, which leads me to a pretty easy decision. Tyreek Hill at 1-7 in your draft should be an absolute no-brainer. Absolutely sprint up to the board and take him. So Tyreek to start. That's easy for me.
The cheetah is off the board. That is an easy one. I would take the cheetah as soon as the 5th pick in the draft. I've got a clear break between him and Cooper Kupp with all the negative issues coming out of Rams camp in Los Angeles. So here, it's just really a discussion of running back or wide receiver. I really don't want to leave the first round without a running back. I want to anchor to a running back. I don't want to have to try and play will the Tony Pollard be there on the wrap game, because in this mock draft, he probably will be. But when you're playing in your home leagues, there'll probably be sharper players that are going to be prioritizing Tony Pollard. I don't think I'm going to take Tony Pollard here at the 1.8, but you know what? I think I actually am. I have Tony Pollard ahead of Bijan Robinson right now. I have Tony Pollard ahead of Saquon Barkley. I have him ahead of Nick Chubb. I do not want to leave the first round without Tony Pollard. Sometimes ADP is a tool that guides you, but at the end of the day, it's all about getting your guy. I'm taking Tony Pollard here. I've got to scroll all the way down, but I'm taking him here right now, ahead of Bijan.
Wow. Hashtag get your guy.
The setup is two.
Saquon Chubb at the 11th spot. That is robust.
He's robusting with the boys. And the reason why I did that is everything is setting up for Tony Pollard. Remember how we've been for the past 3 years, if you've been a Tony Pollard truther, it's like, imagine if he was just a starting running back. Imagine if he's a starting running back. Well, he was the starting running back last year and had like 3 or 4 30 bombs. Now he's the unquestioned starter. They even cut Malik Davis. He's competing with targets with Rico Dowdle. Competing for carries with Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn. Maybe if, Lombardi Lenny gets signed, I get nuked here. But, come on. Like, this is set up for Tony Pollard to go absolutely crazy. Then I'm just going to get to pick my favorite wide receiver in all of the second rounds. Now, I am tempted here by Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is very tempting. Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers are sending some great vibes, especially after that preseason game. But in fantasy, volume is king. In PPR, receptions and targets are king. And I'm going with the guy who I think is going to lead the NFL in targets this season, and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Good pick. Week 17. Correlation.
Correlation rules the nation.
So every bone in my body says take Garrett Wilson here, go double wide receiver, but it's just not a strategy that I typically deploy. Sorry, I like to leave round 2 with one wide receiver and one running back. It's kind of a boomer take, but it's so much safer. And given the recent news around his holdout ending, finally got a deal. It's probably even a little early here, but I don't really care. I think he's probably going to go towards the end of round 2 in most drafts. I'm taking Josh Jacobs. The dude has been an absolute beast year over year. Doesn't really get enough love for what he does. And I'm sitting pretty good with one guy in my 2 most important positions. All right, let's see. What do we got coming back? Wow. Okay, so this is a no-brainer. He's not going to be here. But Mark Andrews at what, past the halfway point in the second round
Third round.
is absolutely
We're in
stealing.
the third round. This is
in the third. Sorry,
robbery.
The only other guys I'd maybe consider are ETN potentially. That I was actually thinking about maybe waiting on a guy like ETN or Gibbs here and taking Wilson in that last round, but I didn't do it. But now with like Mark Andrews, that's stupid value. Take that every single time at the 3-7.
You know the meme where the guy sits back in his chair and he's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that
was Mark Andrews.
No,
there.
that's me right now. Like getting to realize that. I mean, I would have loved Mark Andrews there, but getting to realizing that I'm going to get to walk away with one of Ramondre Stevenson, Travis Etienne, or Calvin Ridley. I feel pretty good about spotting value at running backs later on in this draft. I have a plan here for the 6th, 7th, and 8th round. I know that Calvin Ridley is so steamed. He's so hyped up. He hasn't played for 2 years. I know everything's been so positive. So when all the positive juice is like that, sometimes it's just the smart thing to do is just fade that, right? Fade that noise, go with the safer option. But I'm sorry, fantasy football is about having fun, and having Calvin Ridley on my team the year he makes his comeback is going to be fun as hell. Taking Calvin Ridley here, easy money in the 3rd round. What?
There you go.
Oh, I hit Burrow. Oh, no.
No, you didn't.
Oh, no, I hit Ridley. Oh, I thought I hit Burrow. Okay, I hit Ridley. Oh, jeez.
No way is he still
I fat-thumbed it. Okay, so, okay.
This is a good pool of players.
I'm in the 4th round here, so I could double dip and take Travis Etienne, and I could have 2 Jags. That has not stopped me before in these mock drafts. However, I don't think I need to take a running back here. Breece Hall is enticing, of course, but I think I'm just going to have to take my guy, and my guy here on the board is none other than Justin Fields. Justin Fields had a ridiculous 10-week run there in the middle of last season where he was by far and away the best quarterback in all of fantasy, outscoring the likes of Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen. He adds DJ Moore to the offense. Darnell Mooney's healthy. We've got Khalil Herbert and Roshan Johnson. We've got improved offensive line play in the run game. I just think this is all setting up for Justin Fields to either be a really good pick at ADP or potentially finish his QB1. He could break fantasy if he hits his ceiling. I'm going for the ceiling here. I'm taking Justin Fields. Sorry, Aidan. By the way, if this was my team through 4 picks, dude, I'd
be
would.
fired.
Holy shnikes.
Fuck, dude, I don't want to take a running back here, but I really don't like Amari. I really don't like DeAndre. I'm in a blender here. I'm not gonna lie. This is the 7th spot has me in hell. Dude. What do I do? This is a disaster because I'm looking at who's gonna be there at the next wrap, and that's a disaster too. I'm gonna go ETN. I really like ETN. Wide receiver is a lot deeper. And I'm just not going to take Amari Cooper or Hopkins. I could take DJ Moore, even a guy like Terry maybe. But I don't really. I feel like very good about ETN as a player this year, especially that ADP. I think he slid a little in this draft. And wide receivers deeper. Like I'm probably looking at a guy like Ayuk, maybe Drake London here. There's going to be guys that I really like here this next spot. Cool. Drake London, there he is. So you got 2 pretty good here, 2 wide receivers, and I'm pretty sure Shaun is trying to get one of them. I'm not sure which one. It's Christian Watson or Drake London. Oh, man. I think Drake London is going to command far more volume. I don't know if that's going to result in more fantasy points, whereas Christian Watson, I think, has a significantly higher ceiling, but a much lower floor, given I think his volume is a lot lower. Given I only have one wideout, fuck, I don't feel good about this. I'm gonna go Drake London. I also just hate Christian Watson,
You
so
sound like you're
I hate
from
him.
London.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't.
Per-
I'm not gonna take a running back here. Kyle Pitts is kind of looking at me funny. But I want to again in this league. By the way, we're playing PPR. We're gonna start two wide receivers, two running backs, two flexes, a quarterback, a tight end. So just play with me. You can start four wide receivers. I mean, bear with me. Don't play with me, Jesus. Unless you're a God-fearing man. Sorry to take the Lord's name in vain to our viewers here. I'm probably gonna have to take a wide receiver here. And in that case, I'm going to have to hashtag go get my guy. And it's a guy that's been my guy throughout the entire process. I loved him. I picked him up last year. He carried me in a couple of leagues. Just the list of wide receivers that were as good and as effective as he was as rookies when they were rookies is ridiculous. It's Jamar Chase. It's A.J. Brown. It's it's Justin Jefferson. It's OBJ. It's guys that you want to be on a list on. And I'm going to take the upside swing here. I'm going to go with Christian Watson.
yeah, I saw that coming. You have hashtag got your guy in all 5 rounds.
This is insane. This is an insane
No,
draft. Oh, Ayuk's
I wanted
gone.
Ayuk.
Okay.
Oh, were you gonna take him?
No, I don't think I was.
Okay.
Ideally, this is where I want to start going running back, but this is like nightmare here. I
This is like the peak dead zone here. Actually, it's towards the end, but like it's guys you don't really want to be seeing.
I've got no one here I want. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna reach. I need a second running back.
Get him.
Opportunity cost. I need a second running back. New sure I need my second running back, and I like the receivers. Oh geez, actually, do I risk it? Do I risk it here? I'm gonna risk it. I think. Oh, do I? Do I do it? I'm in a blender here. I think I'm gonna get my second running back. I'm gonna prioritize him. I'm gonna reach a little bit. He's normally going in the 7th round, beginning of the 7th, end of the 6th. I'm gonna take a guy who realistically could be a top 5 player, a running back in touches by the end of the season. I'm gonna take Rashad White here.
Rashad. Knew it. Cool. Where are we? We need a wideout. At this point, I have pretty much backed myself into a late QB build, which I'm totally cool with. Going elite tight end kind of backs you into that corner. So here we are. I'm probably going to go wide receiver here if those running backs do not do it for me. And I think, do I go safe or do I go like ceiling here?
Ceiling,
I think
baby.
the safer pick is Tyler Lockett. The ceiling plays Mike Williams. I think in this new offense of Mike Williams, I know Keegan would love this one because I've kind of been shitting on it all summer. Because I know it's secretly true. If Mike Williams stays healthy all season in this offense, he's going to be a fantasy cheat code. And for that reason, I am going to take him as my wide receiver 3.
In the 6th round, dude. It's
Yeah, it's kind of
it's
silly.
so baked in. His price is so baked in.
Come on, give me DJ back here. Come on. Bingo. There we go. Cool. So both Steelers wide receivers are here, actually. I go back and forth on these guys. I don't know. I think Pickens is obviously like the sexier pick. But just looking at like the targets Deontay's commanded over the last couple of years, he's due for positive regression. And I think he's just a better player too. Like he actually gets separation. He's already proved it in the NFL what he can do as an NFL player. So for that reason, especially again with 2 flexes, I typically play wide receivers in my flexes. I could go a running back here. There's a couple guys I really like, James Cook, David Montgomery, that I'd be super thrilled with if it was a single flex. But given that I want to fill out this final spot with another wideout, I am going to go Deontay Johnson.
That's a bummer. You know how much I love Deontay Johnson. And
Yeah, you're big DJ.
Jackson Smith and Jigba is off the board. I could go another wide receiver here, but I feel pretty confident about a receiver I can get on the wrap. So that means I'm going to get another running back here. He's one of my favorite picks in the 8th rounds, but it looks like I'm going to have to take him in the 7th. He's been screaming up the draft board. He has some concerns about the fact, is he going to score touchdowns? Is he going to be the bell cow? I don't know. He's super talented. He's fast. He catches the ball, and he plays in a really good offense. Give me all the James Cook I can get at this point in the draft. Pickens would have been a good pick, too. I think it's just so much positive buzz with George Pickens.
I know.
Wow, Dotson going off the board hurt. That one's
I was thinking he might make it back to me,
that's a
and I was like, I don't
stinger.
even need a fifth wide receiver,
That's a
but I
stinger.
love Dawson.
That's a stinger. Okay, so I definitely wanted to take Dotson there. There are some good running backs. I like David Njoku here on the board too. Njoku's definitely in play. I think he could have a really nice season. However, I think I'm just gonna stick to my guns, take a quarterback late. I can either go sexy upside pick or just safe missionary position. I could go Brandon Cooks or I could go Zay Flowers. I think in this specific instance, I want to swing for the fences. I'm going to take Zay Flowers here as my fourth wide receiver.
Fuck yeah. So I need a third running back. And this is a guy that you cannot stop me from drafting. You cannot do it. I don't care if
Even
I'm
if there's a
chained up.
fire.
This is a guy that I will click the draft button with my toes, my tongue, whatever I got to do, and that's Antonio Gibson. I think this guy is due for a pretty big season back to some of what we saw in his rookie and sophomore season. Bieniemy is going to use him properly. And there's just been a lot of good buzz. Like we talk about like just good vibes, and I know it's cheesy, but like there's been a ton of good vibes out of Antonio Gibson. It feels like he is so clear from the doghouse that he lived in all of 2022 and is going to play a huge role. Whether he's like the goal line back or not, I don't even think it matters all that much, given he's going to catch a ton of balls. So give me Gibson as my running back three every day.
Gimme Gibson. Is that a team name? Maybe.
Gimme Gibson.
Gimme Gibson.
I love him. I just keep drafting him, dude, at the eighth
Dude,
round.
look at
Oh,
Team Three: DJ Moore, Christian Kirk, JSN, and Gabe Davis. And then, I don't know if I
it's a
like the
juicy
Juju
one.
pick, but that's kind of fun.
Um, so the time has come. This is a guy that like I still kind of go back and forth on with Sean and Keegan. The upside is pretty hard to ignore. The JT news is a bummer, but it might even help him. I don't know. I'm back and forth, but the upside alone is pretty exciting here. So I'm going to Anthony Richardson. I'm gonna have to take another quarterback though.
Wow, he's we did an episode where he did his biggest busts, and Anthony Richardson was his biggest QB bust, and then he's just like, well, actually, I could just draft him and then draft a safer pick. So I think he's come around. He's come around on this two QB strategy. I think.
I'm warmed up. I've got the water up to like my knees at most right now. I'm not fully in the deep end.
Okay, so I could go running back. I could go wide receiver here. I don't see myself taking a tight end. This is kind of best player available for both picks. It's really between three guys. You have Jamal Williams, who could have some upside for the first 3 weeks of the season. Anything happens to Kamara, I think he could see a ton of carries. You have Khalil Herbert, who is the lead back or the, you know, one A in a timeshare with Roshan Johnson and a offense with a highly productive rushing quarterback. So it might be really hard for him to hit home. Or I have Zach Charbonnet, who isn't going to see as much playing time as the first two guys, but definitely by the end of the season could be a league winner type player if anything were to happen to Kenneth Walker or if the coaching staff just prefers Charbonnet's running style. I'm going to take the
Yeah,
contingency upside with Zach Charbonnet here and take him as my
yeah,
fourth running back.
yeah. Love that for you, man. Love that for you. Is he gonna make it back? Nope.
Come on, baby. Come on.
I was like, is Juice gonna make it to me in the 10th?
Okay, so this is a dream situation here because this is one of my favorite darts. In this round, I really like to take Elijah Moore or Sky Moore. I want more pain is the way that I would approach this and call it the strategy.
Give
More
me all the
pain.
pain.
However, I've been taking a lot of Sky Moore. I think Elijah Moore has a ton of opportunities. Getting the Percy Harvin comp, they traded for him. He's been good in limited stretches. Who knows if he's actually any good? He kind of has to break out this season, or his career's kind of over. So I think
Yep.
give me Elijah Moore in the 10th round. This is a pure upside play, bit of a dart throw, but the ceiling is relatively high for Moore. This could be a spread, like high fast paced offense, or it could be a total slog of an offense and Deshaun Watson sucks, whatever. It's your 10th round pick. He's totally worth it at that cost.
Yeah, Elijah makes a ton of sense there. Ton of sense. So I could go two different ways here. I'm gonna wait on Anthony Richards' running mate. I'm gonna gamble that Daniel Jones makes it back to me. I don't know if he will. If he doesn't, that's okay. But this is a guy that I've pretty much been on pretty early in the summer that not everyone agrees with me on, and that's Samaje Perine. I see a world where that's a 50-50 backfield. They paid him money for a 50-50 backfield, and he's shown he can have top 10 finishes in on a weekly basis. So I absolutely love Samaje Perine. Daniel Jones did not make it back to me, and neither did Geno Smith. This is a
You did it for P Ryan, baby. Your fourth RB. You needed him.
what did it cost? Everything. But like when you look at my roster there, a fourth running back was probably more important than the QBs. Like there's still a couple guys here that I'd be more than fine with. How crazy do I want to get now? I should just take Jared Goff and call it a day.
Probably.
Just be smart.
Just go home to your wife.
Yeah.
Just go home to your wife and
Yeah.
kids.
There's no need to put the mortgage. I thought about waiting till round 13 for Sam Howell, but that's just malpractice, dude. There's no reason to do
You
that.
just
There's
love
no reason for that.
you love living on the edge. Okay, so I need to address tight ends. Is my guy Tyler Higbee's gone. He's like my favorite late round tight end in the Cooper Cup news. Like this guy could see like 10 targets a game. Not saying it's going to be great. It's not going to be a fun watch. It's not going to be go turn on your TVs for Tyler Higbee time. But it'll be like you look up and you're like, oh, Higbee got a 6 for 48. That's sick. 10 points from Tyler Higbee. I'm going to take it every day of the week. So okay, I need tight end, but also I could get a little greedy with running back here. I think I'm going to wait. I like Chigaquankwo here. However, I really want to jump on Raheem Mostert and his opportunity out of the gates to be the starting running back for this team. I'm taking Mostert, not thinking twice.
He's so cheap. He may only be like relevant for like a handful of weeks, but with the Jeff Wilson news, like you can't ignore what his role is going to be early. Like we've already seen it last year. What happens when he's kind of like the primary ball carrier, and he's still got the juice.
Okay, so tight end is still something I need to address. However, I see another priority target for me at running back. I'm going to get super greedy and have 6 running backs on one team. I'm not going to normally do that, but running backs are king, and I just love the value here that I'm getting. I'm going to take Jalen Warren. He's one of my favorite late dart throws in the draft, and I'm going to do the latest around tight ends here.
I don't know if I like this team, dude. I'm kind of just this might be one of my least favorite teams that I've drafted for the people. And if you agree, man, it's all right. Just drag me in the comments. So this is a guy that we just talked about earlier today that you guys will see on our sleeper episode. And I'm going to go with Marvin Mims. I think this guy is going to play a ton because of the injuries that have unfolded early on. And if he excels, this is a guy that's going to stay on the field once Jared Jeudy comes back. Even when Jeudy does come back, he's going to be there in 3 wide receiver sets. So give me Marvin Mims as my 5th wide receiver.
Oh, Dulcich is gone. Damn.
That beauty.
Oh, jeez.
All right, and I'm doing it again. Chalk up another one of my sleepers here. I won't stop drafting him. Nico Collins in the 13th. Every day of the week and twice on Sundays as my 6th wide receiver to wrap this one up. Love his potential.
Okay, so I'm going to have to take a tight end here. I'm going to have to address the position. That's totally fine. I see some of my favorite sleepers here on the board. I like Gerald Everett. Gerald Everett is a good pass catcher, and he's been pretty good his career. He's tied to Justin Herbert. I think the Chargers offense is going to be good. However, we just talked about our favorite sleepers. I really like the ceiling that Juwan Johnson has in the Saints offense with Derek Carr, who's had a history of peppering tight ends with targets. Converted wide receiver to tight end, similar to Darren Waller. I'm not saying this guy's Darren freaking Waller, but you get it. Athletic, looks great in training camp, getting a ton of buzz from beat reporters. I think Juwan Johnson might be that guy, and I'm scooping him up here in the last pick in the draft. And there it is, Aiden. Aiden, you mentioned this was one of your least favorite squads. Why don't you dissect your performance?
I don't know if I'd be. Yeah, this is just like the middle of the draft. Like puts my brain in a blender sometimes. Maybe I didn't need Andrews, but he was so cheap. So I started with Tyreek, who I absolutely love. As Sean mentioned, I'm probably taking him at the 4 or the 5 spot. The 7 spot, it's kind of an auto pick for me. Got Josh Jacobs on the way back. I think his kind of situation, now that it's clear, absolutely warrants him being drafted there. Mark Andrews fell to me at the 3-7, which he's probably not going to make it far past that 2-3 turn. A lot of times he's probably going to go at the end of the second. So at that point, I had to take him. This is where things start getting a little weird. I took ETN at the next round. So, like, there's not many situations where early on in drafts I'm going to have more running backs than wide receivers, but the board kind of just shook out this way. I wasn't about to take Amari Cooper. I'm just really not all that high on him. And then you look at some of the guys that got drafted after. You got a couple tight ends. I could have gone for Justin Herbert in an elite QB build. couple more wide receivers there at the start of the next round, which I just didn't really want to reach on. So I got my number 2 running back and kind of waited for a couple rounds, then hammered wide receiver. So I got Drake London, Mike Williams, and Deontay Johnson. I think there's kind of very level of risk with these guys, but these could all be studs. These could all be potential wide receiver twos, top 20 guys when it's all said and done this year, if things shake out the right way. But they're being drafted in these rounds for a reason. It's not the perfect situation and the perfect storm, but we ride. I've got 4 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a tight end at that point. I take my guy Gibson, who I absolutely adore and will be on all of my teams.
Give me Gibson. I adore him. That killed me.
Give me get. And then Richardson, I capitulated on this one, and I took him. All right, I took him. He's gonna run a ton. If he can't throw the football at the NFL level, I'm gonna be in shambles because this pick could blow up in your face at drafts. But it's okay. I got Jared Goff, who's like the missionary quarterback in fantasy football this year. It's just super safe. Going to be a fun offense. Will throw for 4,000 yards with his eyes closed. Then I got Piron, who's another guy that I really like. I think he's pretty much as good as Javonte Williams, especially coming off the knee injury. Potentially better. It's an unpopular opinion, but I'll ride with it. It was kind of at the Piron pick where I realized I only had 4 wide receivers, and I was like, I started to get this like knot in my stomach. But at this point, like, I'm already in too late. Like Thielen goes next, Sky Moore goes next. I'm like, this isn't ideal. And then I take 2 guys I really like. These are 2 deep sleepers who I think could give you real value on a week-to-week basis, and that's Marvin Mims and Nico Collins. So I don't know. It's not my favorite team. I still think I piece it together well and kind of get value in the right spots. But, I've had stronger teams. I wouldn't be, doing a victory lap with this one. Like, there's going to be some work that probably needs to be done or things that really need to go my way for this team to be, a top 3 team. So, yeah, it is what it is.
If you don't like risk, you're not going to like what I put together here.
Close your eyes.
This is just pure upside. I mean, we're just swinging for the absolute fences here. Take Pollard at the 1-8, reaching above Bijan, Saquon, and Chubb. It's going to take some cojones to do that on draft day, and I might actually do it. Amon-Ra St. Brown falls to me. If I walked away with a draft with Pollard and Brown, I think I'd levitate. Ridley is one of my favorite picks.
It's pretty ideal.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a pretty ideal start.
It's perfect. Love Ridley, love Fields, love Watson. So much risk. Like just so much risk.
So much
risk. Insane upside here. I mean, I don't think there's a safe pick on the board. Maybe Raheem Mostert is the safest pick here. That we know
that's
for
insane.
Certain.
And that's insane. If Raheem is your safest pick, you've got to be walking on an absolute piece of dental floss.
ARSB is the safest pick. We'll give it that. We'll give ARSB the safest pick here. But I mean, this is just pure upside. White and Cook are great. Love Zay Flowers. Love Charbonnet. Love Moore. This is a pure upside play squad. I would be. Yeah. This is a fun team here. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. I will see if it is a wagon or if it's a last place team by 6 weeks in.
Yeah. I think I'd be happier with your team than mine, but this is a funkier one. I think like the other ones have been a bit cleaner in terms of like walking away with things we wanted, but this one, this one's the weekly special. It's it might fuck your stomach up, but like it could be absolutely delicious.
It's the mystery ahead. It was just cherry all along, people. It was cherry all along.
I don't know.
Well, Aidan, thank you for joining. As always, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for making the Mean Team what it is. If you haven't subscribed yet and like this content, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Until next